keep going. So I just want to end by telling a story about the power of one voice. I haven't told this story in a while. So I decided I was going to bring it back out. It's a story about a trip I took early in the campaign to a place in South Carolina. I had gone down to South Carolina to a legislative banquet in which I was supposed to speak. And I was sitting next to a state legislator there whose endorsement I needed, and this was before the campaign had really caught on. We were really having to grind it out. And so every endorsement was hard. And I went to the state representative and I said, "State representative, I really need your endorsement." And she looked at me and she said, "I will give you my endorsement if you come to my hometown of Greenwood, South Carolina." And I must have had a glass of wine then. Because I just, without asking any questions, right off the bat, I just said, "I'm there, I'm coming to Greenwood." Only to find out later that Greenwood is an hour and a half from every place else. It is remote. So the next time I fly into South Carolina, it's about a month later, and we land in the airport, drive to the hotel. We get there about 12 o'clock midnight. And I've been campaigning for 10 spring days. I'm missing Michelle, I'm missing the kids, I'm exhausted. I'm dragging my luggage into my room, just dreaming about that pillow. And somebody taps me on my shoulder. I look back, it's one of my staff people, who says, "Senator, we have to be in the car at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning." And I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Because we've got to go to Greenwood like you promised." So the next morning, I wake up, and I feel worse than when I went to bed. And I drag myself over to the window to open the curtains to try to get some sunshine to wake me up. I look out, it's a miserable pouring down. Get some coffee, and I open the door of my hotel room, get the newspaper, open it up. There's a bad story about me in the New York Times. I pack up my things, I go downstairs. As I'm going to the car, my umbrella blows open. And I get poured on, soaking wet. So by the time I'm in the car, I am sleepy, I am wet, and I am mad. And we start driving. We drive. Just keep on driving. Finally, we get out to Greenwood. Although you don't know you're in Greenwood right away. Because there are a lot of tall buildings in Greenwood. We pull alongside a park and a field house, and I go into the field house, and lo and behold, after this hour and a half drive, knowing that there's going to be an hour and a half back, there are only 20 people. 20 people.
Half the population.
We've learned that every vote counts. They don't look like they've been rained on. They don't look like they're that excited to see me. But I'm shaking hands with everybody saying, "How do you do? What do you do? Nice to meet you." And as I'm talking to these people, suddenly I hear this voice behind me shout out, "Fired up!" And I'm startled. And everybody else in the room acts like this is normal, and they all say, "Fired up." And then I hear the same voice shout out, "Ready to go!" And everybody says, "Ready to go." I don't know what's going on. So I look behind me, and there's this little woman. She's about 5'2", 5'3". She's about 60 years old. She's got a church outfit on. A big church hat. And she's looking at me and she's smiling. And she says, "Fire up!" Turns out that this woman is actually a city councilwoman from Greenwood who is famous for her chant. She loves to chant. She does this wherever she goes. You know, whatever meeting it is, she starts up this chant. And so, for the next 5 minutes, she proceeds to just keep chanting. Fired up.
Fired up.
Fired up. Ready to go.
Ready to go.
And I'm just standing there. I don't know how long this is going to go. And I realize that I'm being upstaged by this one. So I'm looking at my staff asking, you know, when's this going to be over? And they're shrugging their shoulders. I'm tapping my feet, just waiting. But here's the thing, Houston. After a minute or two, I'm feeling kind of fired up. Are you fired up? I said, I'm fired up, boss. Are you ready to go? I said, I'm ready to go. It goes to show you how one